No mai haere mai, no waihapai ahau, ki te paraparumu ahau e noho ana, he kamahi ahau, te amarangi mātua rangamatua, ko Nina Ives ahau, toku ingoa, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. What an honour it is to be invited by Craig and Lee to take the opening slot for your national conference. Thank you very much for inviting me along. And I'm pleased to say that I'm also not the only person here from TC. We actually have quite a significant delegation here today. I think they're up in the back there. Oh, there we go. So you're going to hear a lot from us over the next few days. I'm going to take you through that. But before I do, just also want to acknowledge the organisers of this event. I know that a lot goes into a national conference, and looking at the agenda, you've got a jam-packed few days ahead. So before I get into the content of what TEC is here to talk about, I want to acknowledge the journey that we've had with CATE, and that's been acknowledged already. Thank you from Craig and from Lee. When I first joined the TEC in 2018, it was after a tumultuous period where Careers New Zealand and TEC were merged, and a lot of the careers expertise had left the building. I came in and the Ministry of Education strongly suggested that I join up and form a relationship with CATE. And so I met with Warwick Foy, who was the president at the time, and I believe Lee, who was just starting to come into the kaiarahi role. And we started a conversation. It was a 101, so we have come a long way. Since then, we had a TEC career strategy in 2019. We had COVID. We had a series of regional conferences. I've probably met a few of you on going around the country. We had a couple of CATE meetings where I met Craig. We had COVID again, and we had countless meetings with Lee, the Ministry of Education. And finally now we have a new National Career System strategy waiting in the wings, so I can't wait to tell you more about that. We've also had some changes at TEC, and you may notice on the slide we have a new directorate called Careers and Investment Design. In that directorate we have a brand new team called Careers. Simple but really necessary. And we have a refreshed mandate that everyone in this directorate is either leading, developing or contributing in some way to either careers or investment. I'm here today proud to say that TEC is really taking their role seriously as the kaitiaki of careers in New Zealand. And we have set up this new directorate, this new team, in preparation to lead out the new National Career System strategy. This is a significant shift in our approach. Minister Hipkins told us in a meeting earlier this year that careers was one of those things that was at the periphery of every agency, but it was no one's priority. And he said there needs to be a leadership function to coordinate across government, across education, to ensure that there was a clear front door for careers. And he suggested that TEC would be very well placed to take up that role, and you'll see from our strategy that that's one of the very first areas of our focus. So there is so much to share with you over the next 3 days. These are the sessions that we have from the TEC. So at 2 o'clock today, we have our first Tahatu workshop. That was full up straight away, so we've been asked to do a repeat session tomorrow afternoon. So you'll have another shot at that. We also have a booth in the exhibition area, so you can come at any time and have a chat about Tahatu or Inspiring the Future or any of our other content that you'll hear about. Come and see the team and they'll be happy to chat with you. Then at 3:30 today, we are sharing the secondary transitions research that many of you may have seen or heard about already. If you haven't, I really encourage you to come to that session. So Sean Hennity, one of the key researchers that worked on developing this research, will be presenting that. And then tomorrow morning, we've got the early bird session, 7:30, for the National Career System Strategy. So please come and we'll promise to be awake and enthusiastic and take you through that. We're not just going to take you through what the overarching strategy is, but we actually want to seek your feedback on how to unpack some of the actions. What would those actions mean for you in implementation? Then on Friday, we've got our Chief Executive Tim Fowler coming in, and he's going to wrap up on all the work that we're involved in across careers and investment and give you that context of how we're working. So this is the beautiful imagery for Tahatu, our next generation of careers.gov.nz. There are layers of rich storytelling in the brand design for anyone who wants to know more about these designs. We actually have a presentation next Tuesday morning for Global Careers Month. I know I saw Heather from CDANS here earlier. We've been promoting Global Careers Month. You can come along and hear all about it next Tuesday if you're interested in that. But the session today at 2 o'clock is more of an interactive workshop run by Katia Guiloff. She's our principal user experience researcher to understand how students typically join the dots between school subjects, training and occupation. So we're sort of seeking your feedback on what you're observing, what you're noticing when you're working with students, on how they do that and then how we can apply that with Tahatu. So since that's quite a focus session, I wanted to just take this opportunity now to give you a little bit of overview of where we're at with Tahatu. So the vision from Minister Hipkins and government is that all New Zealanders will receive quality information and support they need to build a fulfilling career. Tahatu is designed to be free, culturally affirming, data-driven and a high-quality career planning solution for learners, workers, their whānau and supporters throughout their lives. In the speech from the throne, when the current government came into power, they said every secondary school student should leave with a career plan. So this speaks directly to your role within schools. So what does Tahatu mean? I've got a very short little video here. It's playing.
Tēnā koe makere he runga manoa te tūtaki ai purangi atu ki a koe. It's lovely to meet you even though it's online. Kia ora.
Kia ora. It's so nice to spend time with you today. Kia ora.
And we've got such a cool kaupapa to speak about Tahatu. What is Tahatu?
Great question. So Tahatu is the official name for the TEC online career planning solution. It provides free online information, tools and functions that give New Zealanders the confidence to start planning their career. So it's available whenever, wherever they like for all ages.
So it's an amazing place to start. And what does Tahatu mean?
Really good question. So Tahatu means horizon in Te Reo Māori, and if we think about that in terms of the context of the sea and kind of moving towards the horizon, so that future thinking and planning, we actually embarked on a process where we worked with mātauranga Māori experts and future user groups to arrive at that name. So I think it was a really nice culturally affirming process the TEC took.
Nō reira ko te whakaaro here, so the thought in there is that we're heading for the horizon. It's that beautiful, metaphoric, Māori way of thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, aye, absolutely right. So we've really captured that, kind of our history really. If we think about how we arrived here in Aotearoa, so our forebears, our tupuna, they all came through sea navigation to arrive here, and therefore for that reason, if we think about that, there was some planning, preparation and some real conscious thinking about how to make sure they were safe in embarking on that journey. So if we align that to Tahatu, it's an opportunity for all New Zealanders to access, plan, prepare for their career in the future.
And actually, does that metaphor continue through to the logo for Tahatu?
Yeah, right on. So you're right, ngā haue whā is depicted in our logo. So that is another Te Reo Māori term, which means the four winds. And once again, you know, the navigational context of this, it talks about adaptability and how, you know, as they're journeying, our forebears tupuna journeying here, the winds changed, so they had to adapt to that, which is kind of like our lives really in terms of our career. Things change, circumstances happen, and therefore we need to think about adapting.
That's cool. So we catch the wind, one of those ho, and we go with it and we harness that energy. And are you finding that people can say taha tū, or should we spend a second helping them with that?
You're very generous for offering. It would be awesome, being you're the expert in that te reo Māori space. It would be lovely if you could give us some tips and tricks on how to pronounce taha tū.
Well, you've nailed it. So if we think of it in its syllables, taha, and then the tū has a macron over the u, so that makes it longer. So we're saying taha tū. Kōrero mai?
Taha tū, taha tū.
Taha tū. You see, just like Makere said. Tēnā rawa te koe hoa. Thank you for your time today. I've so enjoyed it. So here we go. Ki te taha tū, to the horizon.
Ai, kia ora.
Right, so now you know what it's called, you know what it looks like, what it means. Now you probably want to know what's in it. So we have a development cycle where every 3 months we deliver a core component of work. This started in January and we're on track to have we've done every milestone so far this year. So we've built the main website, we've got the Explore Qualifications module, we've just completed the occupation profiles, and the team is currently working on skills subjects. So that will take it through to the end of this calendar year. Next year we still have a lot to do, including kaupapa Māori occupations, simple pathways and goal-based planning. So our approach is to test and learn along the way. So we have started pilots or tauira testing with 35 careers advisors and careers practitioners across the country. So some of you may be here and we're really looking forward to hearing from you how that's been going. We'll keep repeating that tauira testing as we go so that we don't do a national launch and suddenly learn a whole lot of things. So the idea is we want to really make sure that it's robust and ready to go. I'm also pleased to say that Lee has been a part of our advisory panel on taha tū, as well as the career system strategy. So we've been getting lots of good feedback directly from CATE, and more of you will be involved as well ongoing. All right, so moving from taha tū on to the secondary tertiary transitions. Later this afternoon, Sean is going to be presenting on this research. We'll cover the methodology of the research, the insights from over 500 students that were interviewed, and where they described their opportunities and challenges when faced with leaving school. You are all living and breathing these experiences every day, so I'm sure that there'll be a little bit of a nothing new here. But I think what the feedback that we've been getting is that the way the team have documented these insights has just been extremely valuable, not just for you to reference, but potentially to help other people understand what the challenges are that you're facing. And it really reinforces the critical role that you play as the interface between these young people and their future. So I encourage you to come along for that, and you can have access to that presentation that's on our website. All right, so then let's move into the career system strategy. I think this is what you've been waiting for. 7:30 a.m. Did I mention that? Maybe we should offer some muffins or something for people to come along. So what is the system strategy? I think I mentioned earlier when Minister Hitkin said, you know, it's a bit of everything, everywhere. It's very hard to define what careers is. So what we've defined it here is providing careers education, information, advice and guidance to support people's capability to make effective decisions and transitions. And it's a system within itself, but it also interconnects with so many other systems. There's the education system, there's the employment system, there's the immigration, there's skills, there's active labour market policies. There's so much that adds to its complexity. And because of that complexity, we knew that we needed a strategy that really went across all of it, and we needed cross-government support for it. So we had an advisory panel of around a dozen people that we've been working with all year to understand what's important from each of those aspects, so that it wasn't just a very narrow strategy just for schools, for example, that it would also encompass people in work or in tertiary or out of work, whatever their situation might be throughout their lives. So throughout this we had Lee representing CATE, we've had Heather from CDANS, Dr. Lynette Reid from AUT, and we've had representatives from all the acronyms, MOE, MB, MPP, TPK, EMA and MSD. And so this is the vision. People are empowered to understand themselves and their aspirations and can navigate careers opportunities that fit throughout their lives. And there are 3 key focus areas: strengthen connections, grow quality careers support, and ensure equitable access. And that's all the detail I'm going to give you, because I want you to come and see us at 7:30 tomorrow morning. I'm very pleased to say that this strategy has been endorsed by ministers. So it's gone to the 7 education, employment and training ministers, and it has been endorsed. We're just waiting now on it going to Cabinet for the final signature of approval, which means that we can get going. So tomorrow, really encourage you to come. Did I say that? Come to our session. All right. Last thing, last but not least, and I'll be quiet. Friday we've got Tim, our CE, coming. He's going to reflect on where we've come to so far, why careers are so important for our work, and how we can continue to work together, and what we can expect in the future. So that's it from me. Thank you again for having us.